Hello everybody, this is Simeonski. Welcome to another Rec Room tutorial. In this one, I'm gonna explain to you one of the mechanics that I used in my games and also show you how you can build this mechanic into your game step by step. So the game mechanic I'm gonna explain to you today is from my game The Lost Coin. And this is basically an escape room, kind of, where you have some clues and you have some questions to the clues here, and you have to press this button and then answer this. Green, red, black, yellow. Okay, I don't know this. Let's see if there's one thing that I know. What is hidden in this room there? Okay, I know this. I think it's the hidden... it should be the hidden treasure. Let's see if it works. Yep. And then this turns, this changes a little bit. The light turns on, so you see this has, you have solved this. And once you've solved all of these 4 things here, this wooden box will open and you will be able to take out what is in there. So let's go and build this system from scratch. So we are inside our macro room and we want to build the system that I just showed, you from scratch. I will not do 4 buttons now. I will basically do 2 buttons that ask you a question, you answer them, and if both answers are right, if both answers are right, then it will say you've solved it, basically. Of course, you can connect whatever to that, but for now I will just do the buttons. Come on. So this will be like button and 2 buttons. You press these buttons and if you got both of them right, then let's say we will do it like we had it in the previous example. We will turn on lights. Once you have it right, a light will turn on. Let's say we will have maybe a yellow light that turns on if I have the question right, just over this button, and we will have a red light turn on if I have both of them right. Yeah, let's do it like that, just for this example. So a very, very simple example. What you can always do with the circuits, you can copy circuits here. I will remove the text fully from this for this example, so it's like and change the material also, so it looks like we had it in the example. So it's just a blank button, you press it, you get a prompt. If you answer it right, then the light will turn on, and if you answer both of them right, then the red light will turn on. So let's go. So what we want to start is, I already had this in another video, but we want to start with a prompt here. And it's called prompt local player. Bam. This is appears on your watch and you will have to answer. Come on, prompt. So you have a prompt title, you have a prompt. Prompt title will be, for this example, question 1. You can also use this as a simple trivia system, but it's very well for escape rooms. And we will have we will just have a mathematic question here. 2. Where's the plus on this keyboard? 2 plus 2 Okay, that will be the prompt. And then we will have the response over here, and we will basically check if the response is right. Yep. You need an if chip for this again, because this, what comes out here, will be the thing that people put into their watch when they are prompted. So you will want to check if, and then equals. And this can be a little bit tricky here. That's why I had lower. This can be a little bit tricky here because you can only enter a very specific thing here. Like you can, for this example, I can only add a number. I cannot write 1, well no, it's 4 here. I cannot write 4 or something like this. So you will have to be very specific. And this can be a problem sometimes if people don't write it, like even if the first letter is big and the others are small, this could already cause the system to fail. So be very specific in your description. This is the description. So people can write this one thing here and the condition will be right. So for this, because we have more than one button, we will need to have, you can do this with a Boolean. I would do it with a Boolean. Yeah, we need a Boolean for each single question, and we just call it, Q. I would just call it Q1. That is basically so the system can check in the end if you turned everything to right. So once you got this right, it will turn this Q to right. And then we will put a light here as well. So is it called light or is it called lamp? Yeah, let's use just a point light. Put it in front of this or on top. Yeah, here we go. Change the color. Yeah, we keep everything but the color. We put it to yellow. And of course it's not emitting yet. We'll just start emitting when we did everything right. Go, turn on. And then what you also want to do for this system, kind of, you will also want to add an event to this. Why? Because you don't know in which order people will answer these questions. They could start with this one or this one. And for the last light, we will have to have a check if everything is right. That is prompted by finishing this line of thought, so to speak. So let's call it, I will just call it check for now. Could always come up with better names, but I will just call it check. This is our event, our new event. And this we will just run after everything is done with the event sender. Okay. Configure it, it stays local. And this will run after everything is finished. So this is our thing for this one question. It will prompt us. It will check if whatever I put in is right. Turn on this Q1 to true. and turn on the light. So let's see if it works. So I get prompted. Here, this is how it looks like. Question 1, 2 plus 2. I will write 4. And it's turning on the light. So. Room reset, okay. Yeah, that's how it works. And this thing you only have to copy now. And you can copy this how often you want. I will do it only 2 times now because just to show you how it generally works. But you can do this like 10 times, 20 times, and it will always work that way. Of course, you will have to change this. The name of this will be Q2 now. This is the only thing you need to change, and of course you need to change the question if you don't want to have the same question over and over again, which wouldn't make much sense. So this is something you could also use for a kind of trivia room. Okay, let's do simple question, 5 minus 3. This would be the second one. Okay, here we go. This should work now. 5 minus 3, 2, bing. This turns on. Let's do. And now we want to have the last step. And this is that if we have everything right, the red light will turn on. So how do we do this? This is actually super easy because we have this event sender here. We will have an event receiver that receives whatever whenever this is triggered. And then we have we can do a Boolean check basically. So, however many of these question booleans you have, you will have to put an if chip each. You will have to put the boolean. And here you don't need an equals or something like that chip because the boolean already puts out a true or false signal. So you don't need anything else, you just need to name it the right way, which will be Q1 here. Check it. And then you can basically copy this. Change the name for Q2. And the cool thing is, you could also add this after you've done all this. Basically, this would also work, but I think it's way better with this event sender, especially if you want to kind of do this randomly. So what I could do, of course, I could also go from this to this chain or from this, but then I would have to connect every single thing, and so it's better to use this event sender to take it over from here. It's more streamlined, so to speak. So this will basically check if those things are true, and if they are both true, then it will continue until our light and turn on the red light over here. Bam, it's not really red. This is red, done. Of course, it's not emitting yet. It should only emit if you have both questions right. Here we go. Yeah, and that's how you set up this system. Let's test it if it works. Giving us a notification, you see how it goes. Let's check. We put it in. It's a 4. It's showing us that it was right by turning on this light. Go to this question, and after we have this right as well, it should turn on the red light, which it... Did it turn it on? Not sure. Let's see. No, it did not turn it on because I actually forgot to set this event receiver right. So you will have to use your new event that you created, that's called check, and find it here in this list. There it is. And then it should work. I can turn it on now by answering this question again. And it should go through. Yeah, now it's turned on. Can't really see it very well because the other lights are on, but it's on now. Okay, what else you can add to this system is, of course, you can add a prompt failed thing, which says something went wrong. Basically, I would use the player subtitle to connect to this, and it just says something went wrong. And of course, if you can add a player subtitle here as well, that says, for example, this was not the right answer. That's something you can add. But yeah, this is basically how it works. Thank you guys for watching. As always, like and subscribe the video if you liked it, or leave a comment. You can also leave comments on what you want to see more on this channel. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.